Hey, what's up, guys? Today let's talk about the power of thoughts. And I know you can't see it, but what can I say? So, if you could, we all know the statement like we become what we think about, isn't it? Like, if you look back at the history, if you look at anyone, like the prophets, any religious priest, or gods or any scriptures, they might disagree with anything, but they're gonna agree on one thing. I mean, like they all came to the conclusion, they agree on a single point that you become what you think about. So just think about it. Like, what are you thinking about all the time? What what are you dwelling upon? Is it positive thoughts or negative thoughts? Just take an inventory of what you're thinking about. And in this channel, we mostly talk about empowered ways of looking at reality. Like, how what do you think about reality? Like, do you think you can influence reality? Do you think you are an effect of the reality? If you think you are the cause of reality, that means it's empowered way of reality. If you think I am the effect, then that is disempowered way of reality. That is a limiting way of looking at reality. So there are like two. Those are the two types we can understand how are we thinking about. And like in disempowering way of looking at reality, it is mostly negative. They are doubt based, they are fear based. Whereas empowering way of reality is positive, like positive way of reality. Like, it's encouraging way of looking at reality. And that's where we want to be. That the objective of the channel is to make you be in that zone where you look at the reality in an empowering way by identifying our limiting beliefs. Okay. So most like okay, like think of any situation in your life, any negative situation or any positive situation in your life. Mostly the outcome has happened first in your mind, in your imagination. And imagination is of two types. It is creative and synthetic. Like, the creative imagination is based on creative intelligence, that kind of subject. Whereas your synthetic imagination is purely based on the data consumed by your five sense organs. And the day if the data consumed by the five sense organs is fear based, then obviously you're gonna create a negative outcome in your life. So it's very important to really observe what kind of information you are consuming in your life as well. And one, like as we know, the creative imagination, what's blocking us to be, for accessing that creative intelligence is fear. Fear is the greatest barrier to block our creativity, to block our intuition, to block every possibility of life. Actually, fear is not a bad thing. We can't blame fear. Fear is like the ego self. And as we all know, like unless we break the ego, we do not tap into the higher self of ourselves. So it's like that. Let us look fear in a good way. So back like back in the olden days, what happened is like the consciousness of the planet was very low. So obviously they had to depend on their physical, emotional, and mental force to get what they want. So since the consciousness was very low, then there was a lot of fear-based thinking as well. And because of that, our neural pathway is like autotelic. It's like the fear-based thinking is like autotelic, and it's very important to break that autotelic fear-based thinking to gratitude or somewhere like that. It's our responsibility to do that, to identify that our natural way of thinking is like fear-based. If you could look like that, I think it's much easier to break that barrier. And whatever you believe is what you become. So, what do you believe about fear? Do you believe fear is very important? Do you believe having fear is gonna help me achieve my vision? What do you believe? If I ask you consciously, you would say no. But subconsciously, if you are a person who thinks on a fear based thinking, then that is what you are going to materialize. So, the important question to ask ourselves is like, is the fear based thinking is gonna help me achieve the vision or not? So, obviously, the answer is no. So, it's very important for us to let go of this fear. And what are the benefits of letting go of fear? Is like we experience greater self esteem. The ability to trust in ourselves is heightened. The ability to communicate is heightened. Self confidence is heightened. Like I could only see positive things by letting go of fear. Like fear is like a devil, and we are supposed to outwit it from our life. And we need to replace the fear with unconditional love, understanding, acceptance. So that is one of the benefits. And the second benefit is like, okay, if your subconscious mind is based on fear-based thinking. So I just try to draw like this. Okay, if your subconscious mind is like fear-based thinking, and okay, you can't see. So what if your subconscious mind is fear-based thinking? What happens is like you have a filter of fear right now. When you have a filter of fear, like whatever you think of, like let's say in terms of money, what do you think of money? Do you have limited beliefs about money, or do you have empowered ways of looking at money? So when we think of money, if there is an element of fear coming in our consciousness, in our awareness, then that means we have certain limiting beliefs around money. So we can use that fear as a sign to understand that there are limiting beliefs about money, and identify what limiting beliefs we have about our money, and let's reprogram that limiting beliefs with empowering beliefs of looking at money. And it doesn't happen in a day, it takes time. What happens is like if you do not identify that as a limiting belief, what happens, let's say you have a, when you think of money, you must be having some, obviously everyone has limiting beliefs about money. So there is fear around money. So when there is fear based thinking about money in the subconscious mind, like the subconscious mind nature is like it's gonna externalize whatever is in your subconscious mind. Whatever beliefs you have in your subconscious mind, they are gonna externalize in the outer world. Then all the fear-based thinking about money is going to externalize in the external world. Then in the when it is externalized in the external world, then you see that okay, I am poor. And since your subconscious mind has a belief that I am poor, you have created the reality where you see yourself that you are poor, and you assume whatever belief you have in your mind as true, and you validate this external as the proof, and again you give a message to your subconscious mind that you are poor, and again the subconscious mind is going to repeat the process. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So it's very important to identify it. Identify, okay, this is the limiting belief and this is why I'm creating this reality. So it's very important to stop it there, kill it there. And you can kill it, you can reprogram yourself by affirmations, by subconscious programming, by self-talk, and there are many methods. So it's very important. And yeah, so yeah, so it's very important to think positively. That is what I wanted to conclude with. If the world is based on what I think, if the world is based on what I think, then it's very important to think in an empowered way. If you think in a disempowered way, obviously we are gonna do harm for ourselves. And that's it, my friend. Hope you liked the video. I tried my best. And in the further videos, I will I'm improving myself, honestly. And in the further videos, the quality of the content and the quality of how I speak is gonna get improved. So just bear with me for a while and enjoy my journey of becoming better. Yeah. See you, man.